Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Florentine, and I help people succeed with astral projection. All right, guys, so in this video, I'm going to be talking to Leroy Galeos, who's had some interesting experiences where he was able to see the future of this coronavirus situation. It's going to be a very inspiring conversation where he shares his experiences that he was able to perceive even before the coronavirus was even announced. And along with all of his experiences, he's going to talk to us a little bit deeper about the benefits of being able to astral project and have this access to this information field, the Akashic records, but he likes to call it the information field. And we're going to talk about how you can use this type of information field to better your experience as a human being and to heal from past-life traumas and other things alike. So stay tuned. I'm sure you're going to love this video. It's a bit long, but it will be well worth your time. Hi, Leroy. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Florentine. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. So you're here because you had some very interesting experiences about seeing the future of the pandemic. So I'm really curious to hear about these experiences and what you saw, how you saw it, and what your take is on all of this stuff. So where do we start?
So we'll start with me getting out of body, right? Astral projecting. Been doing it for a while. Got out of body. Got pulled into an area where was real dense. So the energy was dense. I felt a lot of fear, anxiety, chaos. Usually, you tend to stay away from these areas, but for some reason I got pulled into this area. What was sort of astounding was the amount of energy that was being produced. I hadn't seen that before in my other astral projections. So, I kind of, did some scouting, right? Got to see that it was a huge landmass, right? Didn't really understand where it was or what was going on. Just picked up on the energy of, again, a lot of fear, right? So that experience kind of just made me curious. All right. I sort of diverted from that area, went on my way. Then the next night, I got pulled again. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, there's a lesson to be learned here. I'm supposed to sort of, go into it and see what's going on, right? Now, typically, when I get out of body, I usually like to stay in higher realms, meet with the guides, meet with your higher aspects, learn things, right? This was sort of a crash course learning experience, right? Mm-hmm. With this dense energy. So I get pulled a second time into the area, and now I'm starting to see more movement, more movement with the energy, more movement with the souls, all right? And now I'm looking into it, a little bit deeper, and now I'm realizing that, hey, there's some mass movement going on. There's some mass containment going on, all right? I'm picking all this up. I'm seeing it for myself, and I'm not really understanding, why there's this containment going on. I try to stay away from media, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You really got to filter out, right, the information you get from media because it may not be accurate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I tend to try to, use my own intuition, my own scouting methods if I really want to know things. Okay. So I go deep into it and I see that, hey, you know what? This looks like a Asian country and it's looking kind of hostile here. Jump on the news, figure out that, I get back into the body, right? The day starts, whatever. Get on the news and figure out there's something going on. This is like late January, okay? Mid to late January, this is happening. get on the news, figure out that there's this virus going on. Okay, and I thought to myself, okay, so I'm linking my experience in the astral with my experience that I've seen in Asia, right, in the media.
Yeah.
So at that time, though, mid-January, late January, it wasn't a big thing. Okay,
Sure.
not at all, right? It wasn't a big thing. But your sixth sense will pick things up that, hey, you know what? Look into this, right? Get out of body like maybe about a week later, but this time the energy is different, right? So I'm in the astral, and now I see this huge fluctuation from chaos, fear, anxiety to now transition energy. What that means is death, okay?
Right.
Massive death, right? So I'm seeing all these souls sort of transcending, right? Transitioning. And I'm thinking to myself, holy smokes, this is a large amount for a specific area. Okay, this is something I've never seen before. And then I go deeper into it, see what's going on, and I see some pretty tragic things, some pretty what's the word I want to use? Pretty intense things that I felt like I needed to make sure that this doesn't go under the radar, right?
Right.
So I post something on Facebook. I try to use symbolism, okay, and it's basically a short clip of a movie with Brad Pitt. Okay, it's a quote from Brad Pitt, picture, right?
And it's because you don't want to scare people and sound like you're like the crazy guy. Hey, this crazy thing is gonna happen. Everyone, run and hide. Right.
So the movie is World War Z.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Right. And there's a clip specifically about Mother Nature and the virus and why you go to school and how Mother Nature is ultimately a serial killer if she wants to be. Okay, now she's the greatest. She's the greatest nurturer, right? She nurtures, 8 billion people, right?
Yeah.
But if she wants to, she can be the ultimate serial killer as well. And so I tried to metaphorically, right, put this into a Facebook post using symbolism. Now, a lot of times people will skip through it and like you said.
Yeah, of course.
Forward, right. So as I'm kind of seeing this from the distance in the astral, I'm seeing that it's not getting any better, man. So now we're talking mid-February, right? A couple days after the 11th, and I'm noticing that it's kind of getting worse, and it's and so I'm becoming real concerned. And now here's the point where you can look into what they call the Akashic records, right? Eastern philosophies talk about it. The metaphor I'm going to use is sort of this information field that you can access. Now, there's a lot of ways, Florentine, that you can access information, okay, from the future, all right? People use tarot cards, right?
Yeah.
People get into meditative states and try to contact their guides or their higher aspects, right? People get these down, right? So for me, I wanted to access the future probability and see how this is going to go down. And so what I got back was that the probability of this turning into something very serious as a pandemic, okay, is going to be 90%, right? That's huge, because usually it's 50-50. It's, it's 40-60. It's never that high of a probability that this was actually going to turn into something serious. Now at that point I said, well, if this is going to be, a pandemic, I better start maybe prepping a little bit. Okay, so I put out this message on Facebook, again using symbology, okay, stating that here's the situation, here's what I see, right? Using the media, right? And maybe it would be a good idea to, maybe do some prepping, right? Some rice, some beans, some water, just in case, okay? I try to make this a little bit more clear, a little bit more, how do I say, intense, more
serious, more on point,
serious.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, that one got a little bit more attention. And so I'm thinking, okay, all right, we're headed down the right road here.
And this is something that's still on your Facebook today, and people can look back and see, okay, he actually did posted this on this day before the news even came out with the news that it was a pandemic.
Right. Absolutely. So another thing that happened, right, during this process of looking into the future probability, another thing that came up was the economy. Okay. Yeah. What I saw was that the economy was going to tank. Okay. And so that probability was at 85%, right? And so I thought to myself, man, okay, so this is going to be sort of this domino effect that happens to us in society, right? Now I didn't realize how quick it would come, right? I thought we had more time, but this virus is something that humanity has never seen, and obviously it's very contagious. And we are now sort of open with airlines and crossing countries, and we just have this mass transit system that allows this, unfortunately, to occur so quickly, right? We can get from here to China in, I don't know, 17 hours or something like that, whatever it is, and it can spread that fast. So sure enough, I made a post again, right? I actually contacted a friend who we talk about stocks, the economy, and I said, hey, listen, and this was on a day before Valentine's, okay, February 13th. I said, listen, I think the economy is going to pop. I think the stocks are going to pop. So I texted him, and sure enough, about a week or two later was when we first saw the real big dive over here in the U.S. markets really hit. And that was back on February 13th. So I don't want to scare people, okay? But what I want to do is tell people that, hey, look, these things that are happening to us, right, from a larger perspective, from the larger reality, right, from the other realms, okay, they're happening to us for us to grow, to evolve, right? And that's the purpose for humanity, right, is to grow, evolve, unify, okay? And so that's
you and I talked about this before, like how on a personal level we have painful experiences that happen to us so that we can grow on a personal level. And since the universe is made out of fractals, on a collective level, we have these bigger things that's happening to teach us something so that we can grow, like a pandemic.
Right. So basically, Florentine, here's the deal, right? If you look at your personal life and you look at all the tragedies and hardships and everything that you've gone through, right? Yeah. And you really look back at it and you say, wow, because I went through that, this changed me as an individual, and I've grown from that, and I learned from that.
Exactly.
So now, right. I stand where I am with more courage, more bravery, more, less fear, more evolved, more right, more mature. So yeah. So look at this as sort of a dark night of the soul moment for all of humanity to rise from collectively at the same time. Okay, that's how we got to look at this. We got to look at this as a collective evolutionary process that allows us to level up our consciousness. Now, the currency, right? The currency thing. What I've seen, all right, in these other realms is that the currency is not like the currency here, right? In the third dimension. Third dimension, we really value the money, okay? The economy, all right? And granted, we do need, right, food, water, shelter, security.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. perfectly fine. But the amount of consumption, right, and the amount of money is a little overboard. Okay, here in the third dimension. In the other realms, I've seen what they really value is dharma. Okay, Eastern philosophies call about dharma. Now, how I interpret dharma is sort of this heart base, right? Heart base, good deeds that you do on a daily basis without the expectation of a reward. Okay, you're rewarded by leveling up your consciousness in the other realms by giving good deeds from the heart, okay, or compassion. All right. You know, here in the third density, it's sort of this quid pro quo, and it's this favor for me, favor for you, a lot of networking, and it's sort of getting outdated. Let's put it that way. It's getting outdated, and I think people will come to this realization that, hey, you know what? There's something more, right? When it comes to currency, and at the state of humanity, I think they're going to go through this experience of what really matters.
Yeah, exactly. I like what you say about that, because it's like you say, it's not how much we manage to get from the world in this lifetime, it's how much we can give to the world in this lifetime to get higher up in a spiritual way, to get better karma. Because I think we're too focused on this lifetime, because we, for the most part, we think that this is the only lifetime we have, so we must make the best of it. But if we look at this lifetime as a step in the bigger cycle, just the same way that we look at the day in our life as a day in our life, instead of seeing it a day as this is the only thing that there is. It kind of feels like the universe is like that. The universe is built up of fractals. And a day, if you think about it, you wake up in the morning, you're born, and then you go to sleep, you die, and then you rebirth the next day.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's like a mini life. Every day is like a mini life.
Right.
And so if you were to look at a day like this is the only day you have, then you will be able to your life will be very different. You'll just be focusing all your attention on that one day, and you won't look at the bigger picture. You won't look at how this one day is going to affect the next day, and you won't have any bigger plans or any more evolved things. You just do like this one thing that you can do in that day, and then that's it. And I think if you think about it the same with lives, that we are very focused on this one life. And if we shift the focus to like seeing it as a bigger spectrum, like this is one of the lives in this bigger cycle, how would that impact us as souls? Being focused on the soul journey instead of focus on the physical life only.
Right. So I'll add to that, actually. If you just study nature, right, and we have most places have the 4 seasons, right? So we have the spring, which is the birth, right? The summer, which is sort of this midlife where everything's growing. You got the family going, and everything's sunshine, right? And then you got the fall, where things are starting to maybe deteriorate a little bit, right? But you grow in wisdom in the fall. Okay, you see the leaves falling, right? And then of course the winter, they call it dead winter, right? Where everything is cold, darker, right? And dead, right? But spring's coming around the corner, and then there's the rebirth process. So absolutely, you see it in nature.
Yeah, and I think nature is really a key blueprint for how everything else is created.
Right.
You see those fractals in nature everywhere you look. There's a lot of noise coming from outside right now. There's a construction worker doing his thing. But yeah, I think it's important to look at things in the way that nature is creating things, because that gives you a really good understanding of how everything is created and everything works. And everything works in fractals. And there's the microcosm and there's the what's it called, the
Macrocosm.
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Even in water crystals, right? Even in snowflakes, you can see those fractal patterns, right? They call that, a lot of that is that sort of that sacred geometry going on.
Totally. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, there's something to that. There's something to the symbology in the sacred geometry. I've noticed, in some meditations, a lot of astral projections. And I remember in the beginning, then I was going through, you would see these fractals. You would see all these like sort of this tree of life, these tree of life symbolisms, and you'd see all these patterns and all these colors, and sort of you just go through it and you feel it, and you experience all these visual ecstasies, and really get sucked into it and drawn into it. So astral projection, man, once you learn it, right, once you let go of the fear and some of the belief systems that restrict us, it changes your life forever. Because Florentine, that the first time you get out of body and your awareness is outside of your body, and you visualize and you see your body laying there breathing, but yet you're awake and aware, maybe on the side of your body, it changes things. It changes how you look at death, okay? Because now you know that you're more than the physical body, and you know that, well, look, my awareness is outside my body, but hey, I'm doing fine. I'm still breathing. Now it's time to go explore, right? And so that pivotal moment, or that pivotal experience, Florentine, can forever change a human being. And so, my hat's off to you for trying to teach people how to do this. And I think it's great. I think you're headed in the right direction. And I hope more and more people get involved with this, because it would definitely change perspective.
Absolutely. Teaching is one thing, and just informing people about the possibilities, like we're doing now. We're talking about you being able to remote view the future. And, well, remote view as in, you're able to see the future with astral projection. How powerful that is, how we could use that to be able to prepare for the future, like you were doing, right? To warn other people about what's coming, and what a useful tool, right? Right.
So I'm glad you brought that up. So a lot of this, if you think about what reality itself is, right? Reality itself is information, and where you get the information from is invaluable. I mean, you got to have a trusted source of information. And my 38 years of life, I can assure you that I trust myself, being able to discern the information and really depend on my intuitive abilities to go with what I know and based on my experience, right? Unfortunately, sometimes you can't trust outside sources of information, so you have to go within, right? And whatever that means, man. Whether you got to consult your guides, your higher aspects, look into probable future, whatever it is. The main thing is that you trust yourself. You trust the source, right? And that right there will ease so much fear and anxiety, because you know what's coming. You know how to prepare for it. You know how to tell your loved ones, if maybe they're not at that level yet. That's okay. Softly break it down to them.
Yeah, softly.
Whatever you got to do.
Now, at this point in the video, I'll be interested to know if you could share some of your advice with people that would like to learn how to access the Akashic records, or the information field, as you call it, when they go out of body. Like, what's the process? How do you actually get there? How did you get there? Was it easy? Did it take you a lot of time? Can you talk a little bit about that? It will help the viewers a lot.
Sure. So, like I had said earlier, the first thing is, right, obviously, learn how to get out of our body. That's the first step. The second thing is learn how to deal with these fears and ego, really streamline the information that's going to come into your consciousness, okay, without being, without fantasies or imagination or delusion interfering in that information, okay?
Mm-hmm.
These steps have to be well practiced, so that way when the information does come to you, you can be confident in that, okay, here it is, I'm pretty sure, okay? Now, let's say you're getting good at getting out of body, you've got your ego managed, okay? And your maturity level has increased, because that's really important, right? Spiritual maturity. And so you've leveled up enough for where the larger reality, right, trusts you.
Just a question about that. The spiritual maturity, would you say that's something you were maturing through the practicing astral projection or through another practice?
Absolutely. So when you're ascending and you're going through all these different realms, you see the lower nature, right, the lower astral, and then the higher astral, and you see the behaviors, and you see how, in the lower astrals, it's more of this, carnival show, and it's more of a a lot of tricksters and
Very fear-based, right?
fear-based entities that don't really have your interest but their interest. The higher realms are more caring, loving, lighter, right? They want to give you information. They want to teach you. They want you to ascend. They want to give you compassion. And so these are the ones I try to stick with, right? Because I'm all about learning. I want to know what energy's like, how it works, how to heal, how to remote view, how to psychically scan, how to see energy, how to feel energy. I mean, there's just so much stuff that you can do. So you start leveling up, you start, meeting with the right people. It's just like this world, right? You want to hang around positive people, upbeat, right? You want to hang out with people that really have got their stuff together and are headed in a positive direction. Same thing.
Yeah.
Higher realms are the same way. I look up to a lot of my higher aspects, and I go to them. Before it was the guides, and then it's my aspects. I trust my aspects. They are a fractal part of me.
Yeah.
And so I go to them when I need the information I need. So I'm leveling up, and I'm finally able to get into this Akashic records. To me, the way I interpret the information is this digital sort of library that's going on, right? And it looks like how do I explain? Like almost holographic in nature, where like if I set my intent, right? I go to the area, I set my intent. The intent has to be focused, okay? It has to be without distraction or detour, right? You need to know exactly what you want, and you need to be specific. So in the beginning, when I first started getting into this, they wanted me to look at my past lifetimes because I needed a lot of healing there, okay? So I accessed the Akashic records. I set my intent, okay? My intent was, I want to see the trauma from my last lifetime. And basically the screen will pull up, right? And you're inside a movie all of a sudden, okay? And you're actually in the body of your last lifetime, and you're experiencing it. And there's this weird sense of unknowingness that, oh yeah, this is familiar. This is like a memory. It's really cool. It's very cool. And so you see the trauma that you went through, and there is where you need the healing. And it's interesting because when you see that past life trauma and it's not properly healed, it affects you in this current lifetime. And I saw for the first time, visually and feeling it, that, wow, man, no wonder have this fear or this anxiety or this pain that's so deep. I couldn't figure out in this lifetime where it came from.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, it came from my last lifetime. And so this is a great way to use the Akashic records to figure out where these traumas and dramas are from past lifetimes and where you need the healing. So that's really the benefits and perks of getting out of body and going through your own records, your own personal soul record, and healing where that needs to be healed. It's amazing though, man, because when you heal that, right, it takes a while for you to process it. I'm not gonna lie, it takes about 2 or 3 weeks for you to really process that healing. But after that sort of band-aid is put on, you feel better. And you can feel it deep inside, and then you can progress in your evolution.
And sorry, how does that work for you when you see like a past life memory, you get to experience it, a traumatic one, something that was pretty terrible to happen, mm-hmm. and then you after you've seen it, how do you heal from it? How does it heal you by seeing it? Because I can also imagine that it can be pretty damaging maybe to see something horrible that happened to you, that you obviously will feel and you experience it as if you're there, right, in that body. How do you heal from that in this lifetime? How do you go past that trauma?
Okay, sure. So when you come back into your body and you witness what you witness and you feel what you feel, there's this processing period that happens, right? It's about 2 to 3 weeks. And it's just like this reality, where if you go through something, you sort of need to counsel, right? You need to counsel yourself. You need to reach out to other people and heal yourself. What I've learned to sort of fine tune is that your intent is everything. So if you want to heal, right, this trauma, you need to use your intent, a focused intent, okay, to heal yourself. And this is where the whole feeling energy comes about, right? Learning how to feel energy and learning how to heal yourself through energy, right? So again, focused intent. Make sure that nothing else matters when you're in sort of this trance of hyper awareness, and really stay laser sharp in healing the heart. Okay, because that's mostly where the pain is, right? Your heart chakra is where the emotion stems from, where the feeling is at. And so for me, I made sure I focused on the heart chakra and heal it with a focused intent. Now, of course, there's going to be, right, psychological stuff going on, because you just witnessed yourself past life trauma, and it's real because when you saw it, you felt it, and it was like a past memory. So just know that this whole process of you going through this is natural and normal. It's a way, it's the proper way to ascend. Okay.
And do you heal that through the out-of-body experience again, or do you heal it in physical life by reflecting on it, or meditation, or other means?
Absolutely. You can do it both, right? There's been times where I've been out of body and I've seen my body outside, and I've seen my energy kind of thrown off, and I've healed my body outside of my body. It sounds weird, right? So there's my body laying down, and I kind of see the energies off in a certain area, right? And I can use my focused intent to heal that part of the body, right?
Yeah, it doesn't sound weird to me. It sounds like, that's how it works. It's amazing.
Yeah, totally. But, in this reality, when you come back into your body, it's the same way, man. You can get in a meditative state, right? And sort of just visualize the heart, or wherever the trauma is, and then heal yourself,
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, and you must have felt like that experience, because it was your past life. When you had that experience, you're in this body, you saw these things happening. You must have felt when you came back. You must have felt like that was a part of you, and it wasn't just like an experience that was traumatizing, that was crazy, but it was like something like, whoa, I remember that. That's why I feel this way about this and this and that. Like you connect. It was really connected to you, right? That experience.
Right. Absolutely. Some of the Man, I have a dozen stories. Um, so a lot of the healing, okay, a lot of the healing is not only from the past lives, but sometimes the soul doesn't properly. So let's say there's a lifetime, okay, that you really had this really obsessive, strong belief in something. And when you passed, right, when you died, your soul kind of got stuck. Like an aspect of your soul, where we talk about fractals, there's this fractal part of your soul in a lifetime that was really obsessed with a house, let's say, or a lost loved one, or something physical, and it's attached to an object or a thing. Um, Sometimes you need to go, what they call this soul retrieval. You need to go to the area of that lifetime, okay, and sort of convince or heal that fractal soul part of you that's never let go, that it needs to learn how to detach, okay. And so you use your out of body experience to do that, to go ahead and retrieve that soul that's been attached to something. um, that's another great part about accessing this, akashic records. And you don't, as long as you set your intent right when you get out of body, you kind of just go there and do that, but you got to know what you want to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and the reason why I ask you if you felt really connected to that because I've had experiences where I've gone to body and I visit a parallel life that I have, where I am a different person in a different dimension, and it was interesting to me because I went there one time, and then I came to this empty house, and I got a lot of downloads of what happened in the house, and I had a family, and there was like a little bit of a crime investigation that I was doing there. Like, okay, something happened here. I have to figure out what happened. And when I came there the first time, I felt like I had to do something, right? I had to do something about this. And I went back again to the same place the next day, and I was so involved in like, okay, I need to solve this this issue here. But as I came back, every time I came back, I was, and I was in this physical body, in my physical life. The idea of going back there and solving that issue that was happening in this parallel dimension wasn't that important anymore. It's like, okay, well, my parallel self can deal with that. I'm busy here because there was some sort of separation, because it wasn't my personal past life. It was kind of like a parallel version of me. So it wasn't as connected. I didn't feel as like I didn't feel it didn't feel as urgent, because it didn't feel like it was affecting me as much in this lifetime.
Right.
But it's the way that you experience it. It's like your past lives directly influence this life, and the traumas that you have from those past lives needs to be healed, so that you can really move on with this life. And we were talking about how that helped you by healing the past, helped you to raise your awareness, to raise your consciousness to a level where you were able to then start reading the information field, the Akashic records, because now you didn't have all of this baggage with you, right?
Right. So it's always about, I guess what I've learned through all this experience is that nothing matters more than your personal evolution, right? Your whole point is to ascend and level up your consciousness, and you realize that this is a virtual reality, and you realize that, you know what, this physical suit may die, but guess what, I get a new one. Or maybe the next lifetime I'm going to go to another reality system, because there's countless reality systems out there. You just have to have the courage to go and explore them, right?
Yeah.
You got to sort of find the IP address and go there.
Yeah, like like on the internet, right? Yeah.
Right.
I see it the same way. Like you're browsing on the universal internet, I like to call it.
Right. And we talked about this. It's like this reality. You're young, you're a teenager, you get your first car, and you're wanting to explore the world. You want to get out of the house and go explore the world. Same thing. You get out of body, you want to go explore. Not only this world but other planes of existence. And man, it just changes your perspective. It changes what really matters, right? it changes the currency system within yourself, and it changes who you want to associate with in this reality and other realities. And man, it's just been such a burden off of my shoulders with the fear, right? Because there's nothing to fear, man. You've seen it with your own eyes, you've felt it with your own heart, you've experienced it, and you just know. It's like this knowing that it's going to be okay. The pandemic is going to be okay. The economy, it's going to be okay. No matter what, it's going to be okay.
Awesome. Well said. Thank you so much, Leroy. This was a really great interview with you. And I'm looking forward to the next one that we'll do about it. Maybe the next future event that will take place.
Right. Sounds good, man. I'll be looking forward to it as well.
All right, guys, that's all for today. If you liked this video, make sure to hit the like button and also comment below. Let me know what you think about this video, and also comment on what other things you would like to see in the future. What other interviews would you like to see? And if you happen to have an experience that is super inspiring, that you want the world to know, just like in this one, please get in touch with me and let's have a conversation, see if we can get you onto the next show and share your message. Until then, take care.